Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SoulFire Fridays, where I get to put together a video and share that on YouTube, Facebook and Instagram as an extension of a conversation that I began on Monday through an email sent out to subscribers of SoulFire Conversations. This is basically weekly inspiration that I share with you every single Monday at 8:15 a.m. If you'd like to receive this from me, you're welcome to sign up. There'll be a caption, there'll be a link in the caption of this video. Please click that. They'll send you to a sign up page and you do it the one time, and every single week on Monday when I release an email, you receive it. We've been talking about how to avoid resolutions you won't keep. At the beginning, we started out by saying that it is important to start with God, committing your plans to God and asking Him to be right there with you throughout the whole experience, throughout the whole journey. Next up, counting the cost. And then right after that, we talked about being careful not to adopt goals. That is, copy-pasting things that are someone else's journey or trying to accomplish something you saw somewhere else without necessarily having a personal revelation and conviction. We weren't going to end this conversation without me mentioning something that I think you should look out for, that is important to have close by to help you measure how you're doing on your journey of progress. And that's about doing too much. That's the focus of this week, about being careful not to get caught up in doing too much. Now, for some that looks like perhaps you were never a gym goer, you had no subscription before, then you join a gym and then now you're aiming at spending 6 hours a day, every day at the gym. Yeah, doing too much. Having too many meetings, that's doing too much. Overdoing anything, more than the required or the necessary limit. In my experience of my own life, and when I've sat down to reflect on some of the spaces or some of the times when I found myself doing too much of anything that I had committed myself to, I discovered that doing too much was a sign of motivation that was driven by fear. And very closely to that, or underlying that, was an insecurity. An insecurity that I'm not enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't understand enough, and I might perhaps not even get this thing right. I might botch it up somewhere in the middle. I might get caught up in confusion, and so on and so forth. When you're in your little bubble and all of those things are playing in your head, it tends to get a little absurd. And so when you get caught up in those feelings and thoughts, what ends up happening is you become afraid and you start to do a lot. You start to overcompensate, all because you're really trying to do everything you possibly can to avoid having your fear becoming a reality. And so it stops being about growing and progressing and becoming. It becomes about doing and trying to avoid your fears from becoming a reality. It becomes about playing defense rather than offense. Being an offensive player is charting out a path or deciding what a goal is going to be, and then sitting down to understand, or taking the time to understand what it's going to take to accomplish it. Being a defensive person is just trying to, or rather acting defensively, is rather more about trying to make sure that certain things just don't happen. You kind of maintain a status quo. And that's kind of where the fear being the motivation comes in. And right closely underlying that would be the insecurity, whatever that insecurity is. Do not allow yourself to get caught up in the rut of doing too much, because it's very possible for you to be doing too much of the things that are non-valuable or non-essential. They're not as important as the things that you should probably be focusing your time and your energy on. Doing too much is not going to add any value to you. It's only going to leave you exhausted and perhaps disillusioned, because somewhere down the line when your strength is all run out, you're going to give up. And this whole thing is going to fall flat on its face, and you're going to be completely disgusted at the outcome. And that's not what we're trying to accomplish here. That's not what you want to accomplish. That shouldn't be you. That shouldn't be your story. That shouldn't be your outcome. What we're looking at here is building progressively from one stage to the next. And again, it's important to remember that we're not just looking at resolutions that fit within a year or accomplishing things that fit specifically within a year. I learned recently that smart people think in decades. So as we've now begun a new decade, you're not just planning to accomplish things for 2020, for example. Let's look at how you can accomplish things progressively through 2020 short-term goals and all the way through to 2030. There are some things that will not be accomplished within a year. So if the year ends and there are some things on your resolution list or your vision board or your itinerary, whatever that is, that were not complete by the time the year is over, then don't be disappointed or discouraged. Just keep on going, keep being consistent. It's very easy to celebrate when you start something new or you get into a new venture or you build a new thing and it's a new phase of your life. That's very exciting. But we don't often take time to celebrate consistency and faithfulness. And it is important that we learn to do that. It's important that you learn to celebrate small wins, to look at your progress and to understand that you are growing. Even if you don't see it, even if you don't feel it, you're getting stronger. You're becoming more of who you're supposed to be and less of who you used to be. And that is why it is important to have a mindset that is centered around becoming rather than just doing. So if you find yourself doing too much, that's an opportunity for you to stop, step back, and introspect. Begin to understand what the motivators or the drivers of the doing too much are, and begin to see them in light of what you want to become and how they are either taking away or sabotaging the efforts that will help you become the thing that you have determined for yourself that you want to become. It's very important also not to listen to too many voices. You don't have to get everybody to co-sign on your vision. You don't have to get everybody to co-sign on your ideas or to co-sign on your intentions for your life, especially when they're not going to be willingly invested in the journey of progress towards achievement. I hope everything that we've talked about so far in this conversation about how to avoid resolutions you won't keep has been helpful. And I hope that it continues to help you even in the days to come. If you get caught up in life and things are happening too fast or too much, come back to these emails, come back to these videos, and I hope that they serve the inspiration that you need to keep you going. I look forward to the conversation we're going to be having in February and to sharing the videos on SoulFire Fridays as well as the written conversations on Mondays. If you haven't signed up again, please, I'd like to encourage you to sign up. The link is in the caption of this video. And I'd also like to encourage you to check out some of the music that I've shared and made available that theme the conversations that we have, but also the music that I make to inspire, encourage, and uplift your spirits. Well, until the next conversation and until the next video, God bless, goodbye, and take care.